one of the Christie's warehouses where a bunch of my mom's stuff has been laid out. I'm just sorry my mother isn't here because I think one of her dreams was to be left alone in a Christie's warehouse with a satchel and nobody supervising her. Fortunately, she's not here to do that. So let's just talk about some of her stuff. This was one of the pieces I very much wanted to keep. I mean, the workmanship is phenomenal. I mean, you look at the work and the pearls and the little diamonds, and it's just phenomenal. She collected three main things, and that was art, jewelry, and Fabergé. It appealed to the beauty and the craftsmanship that she so adored. My mother's mother came from a very well-to-do Russian family and then came to the United States. They had to leave everything behind, but her mother always aspired to having that very grand lifestyle back. And they lived well. My grandfather was a doctor, they lived very nicely, but not, I think, the kind of lifestyle that she had as a child in Russia. And the thing that was so funny about my mom was she felt with Fabergé, so much of it was given as gifts and personal items within the Russian aristocracy that she felt she should put our family photos in them, which is hilarious. So here I am, right before I left for college, in a Fabergé frame. My godparents, Vincent Price and Carl Brown, also in a Fabergé frame. This one's phenomenal. This one has the Royal Cipher MC. She always loved the provenance. She loved the stories behind the different pieces. To be able to say so-and-so wore this, or this was gifted to so-and-so, always made a piece more significant to her. She loved the romance of the pieces. I think the piece in the sale that I have the biggest memory connected to is the Winston pin. Because I remember as a child, my mom sitting and drawing it out. It started with just a few little stones, and then they would get more stones, and they would add and add. And I remember my mom sitting on her dressing room floor, playing with it, and making little pieces of paper in the shape of different stones and adding to it as they got different things. So there's a lot of memory for me in that particular pin. She loved setting a beautiful table. I think it goes back to gracious living. She loved entertaining. It just was one of those things that gave her great enjoyment. She was not a minimalist by any stretch when she set a table. She appreciated when she went to people's homes and it was those very sleek, modern looking tables. That is not what you would get at her house. You know, she believed more is more and more is better. Her apartment was amazing. She used to say that her apartment was how Marie Antoinette would have lived if she had had money and taste. Our library was very English. The rest of her apartment was very French. She loved fine French furniture. She loved Russian works of art. I think that's just what she was attracted to. I don't know if on a conscious level it was because that was her roots. My mother, I think, would be thrilled that these things will be loved by someone else as much as she loved them, and not just, sitting in a vault somewhere not being used and loved. It's very hard to part with all of this, and these were very, very difficult decisions for me to make. And there is not one piece in this collection that I would not take back in a heartbeat. But I know in her heart, and I know in my heart, I'm doing the right thing because she always said her things were meant to be used and loved. And they should go to places where they're going to be used and loved.